Good morning, my 4th and 5th grade creative cats. So this is day 2 of the Succulent project, and you could use any art materials you want. So at this point, if all you have is crayons or color pencils, you can color it in, and you're going to watch the second video on the project, and they talk about patterns. So you want to think about somewhere that you might want to add patterns. This picture, if you look, you can see I added patterns to the pot, and I added some repeating patterns to one of the succulents, one of the cacti. And I'm going to show you how to do that. I did a watercolor resist, and you guys should know what a resist is. We've done a lot of them. That is where the paint does not stick. It resists because there's something that doesn't mix with it. Now, I'm going to use watercolors. If you are lucky enough to have watercolors, you are a lucky person. If you don't have watercolors, you can improvise and use markers like I showed you last week, but they must be water-based. So these Crayola markers, these are actually, especially these classic ones, these are water-based, which means when I add water to them, they will run and be like a watercolor. A really cool trick. If you have these markers and they are drying out, you can take them, open them up, put them in a container of water, and you have to let them sit for a while, usually distilled water. Whatever. Put them in the water, and you will make, you know how like Ms.M has those watercolor jars where she has a lot of water and it has like the glitter. Well, I don't have it. You're not going to have glitter unless you have glitter at home, but it makes the watercolor in the jar. You can do that with these, and it's a great way to use up the last of the ink instead of just throwing them out. Some art teachers do that as a end of the year thing. So I want to put a pattern down here. I'm going to use crayons. Most of you guys have crayons at home. These are some old art crayons. Some of them are broken. Doesn't matter. If you have a white crayon, which is kind of cool, you can use that and do the whole secret drawing thing. We've done that before. You guys have had me for a long time, where we've drawn things using white crayons, and when you paint over it, the paint will not stick. I'm also going to put a pattern on the bottom. The pattern on the bottom, I think I'm going to use this red. I want to do some polka dots. Now, you want to put a lot of crayon down. Usually when we do a resist at school, I will use oil pastels, and they tend to work a lot better. But if you put a lot of crayon down, a lot, then that'll work just fine, because the wax in the crayon makes the part where you color, it's waterproof. And I'm using watercolors. So my pattern's going to be polka dots. I love polka dots. I love all patterns. Patterns are cool. Now, you could even go as far as putting some patterns on your plants, or you could even add some type of maybe we'll add a pattern to the bottom. Maybe I'll make stripes. Maybe this is a tablecloth. Instead of having my succulent pot floating in the air, I should put it on a table. And I'm kind of rushing. I'm trying to get this done rather quickly. But don't feel like you have to rush. Take your time. Do a nice job. And make sure that you send it to me when you're done. So here I am. I'm done with my crayon part. So now I'm going to go and move on to my watercolors. And I have lots of watercolors because... don't get me started. I'm a watercolor artist. So I'm going to pick a color. You know, I'm going to start with this yellow. This is a really cool yellow, and I'm going to go ahead and put it down. And notice anywhere that there is, though it kind of comes out with a green tinge, but I kind of like it. I like it a lot. You know what, I'm going to switch to a bigger brush. Now, you might go, Ms.M, I don't have any brushes at home. Okay, that's fine. Maybe you have a sponge that you could use.